Every time you post on social media, it's like buying a lottery ticket. And our first video of me showing the hair extensions went so viral, sold us out.
I think in our first month, we did 25 or 30 grand.
Yeah. Our website actually crashed.
We were having all these logistical issues. We were just losing all this money. And I was like, there has to be more to my life for this. I can't trade my time for money anymore. I have to figure out a better way to make money. And we started this conversation. We were like, well, why don't we start a business? Got the first sale, like the first
Yeah.
and we were like, wow, we did it. Like it was this crazy moment. By the time I walked into work, we'd done like 3.5 grand. And I walked in there like, I'm going to be rich.
And you know what? If we would have waited, I don't know if we would have had the same momentum. I feel like it would have passed.
For some people, success might be just having a 9 to 5. Money doesn't necessarily connect to success. For me personally, our business is the overflow of what we have personally. If the business was to go, we'd still be happy and feel successful.
I want to go to each of you and ask one tip that an e-com brand could implement that will get them a return on watching this video.
Okay, so mine would be, my name's Steph.
My name's Paul.
Awesome. And what do you sell?
We sell hair extensions. We actually sell Australia's first DIY hair extension kit that you can apply in the comfort of your own home in 20 minutes or less, really. And it pretty much saves you from having to go to the hairdresser and spending thousands of dollars. You can just do it.
I'm sure that's a massive issue. I haven't had that issue, but my fiance has. Explain exactly how the product works.
So traditional hair extensions, you had to go to a salon, pay maybe anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000. They last in your hair for maybe a couple months, and then you have to go through the whole process again. And basically I was doing that every couple of months, and then I got married and he was like, absolutely not, you're not spending that much money on hair. And so we saw a gap in the market for a way to do it yourself at home, where you could do it on your own timing and you didn't have to spend all of that money. So basically it's a double-sided hair extension weft that you place in your hair. You literally section your hair, stick it in your hair and allow your hair to fall on top. Now for a man, that might be like hard to understand and envision. But as a woman who, you know, especially if you're someone who wears hair extensions, it's like the most simplest, convenient way of getting your dream hair.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So how much would hair extensions cost usually? And then how much does yours cost?
When Steph was getting them done, first you have to buy the hair, right? And traditionally you have to buy it from the salon. That costs a few $1,000s. And then every month you have to go and that costs $200-$300 to get them
minimum
taken out. Then they wash your hair and then they put them back in. Whereas with us, our product, the price, first of all, is not a few $1,000s and you do it all yourself. So the best thing is if you thought about getting hair extensions, but it's like, man, this product, it's so expensive to have hair extensions. You get ours, you try it, you love it, and then you're sort of hooked on it. And then we have like all these customers coming back saying this is the best thing ever, building up this customer database, I guess, of people who are coming back each year.
So you're selling a cheaper alternative that is more time convenient and also easier to apply, I guess. So you're selling all the 3 pillars of what people actually want in a product.
Exactly.
The biggest barrier, I think, to what a lot of people don't get hair extensions, they're worried about it damaging their hair. Whereas like that's the main thing. Our extensions are less damaging because they're lighter. The way that they put in, it's far less damaging. You have control. If you don't want to wear them, if they're starting to hurt you, you have to, traditionally, if it's starting to hurt your head, you have to go to a salon to get them taken out. Whereas with ours, you have full control. So
yeah. We have people that literally wear them for a night and we have people that wear them for the 4 weeks. So like the option is yours. You customize it to your needs. And I think that's what people love.
So we obviously met on Shark Tank. Can you remember your Shark Tank intro?
Yeah, I can.
Can you do it?
Hi Sharks, my name is Steph.
And my name is Paul.
And together we own Muse for Hair, Australia's first at-home DIY hair extension kit.
That's pretty good.
I can't remember the rest.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know if you did that line. I was like, hang on a second.
What was your Shark Tank experience?
I loved it. I mean, we did not know what to expect going in, but the experience in terms of like, it was the first time we've been a part of something like that. So even on the plane, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on TV. This is so cool.
We nearly missed our flight, by the way.
Yeah. That is true.
Oh, that would have been stressful.
That's my fault, but that's okay. And then, like we were so nervous, but the second the doors opened, I don't know, something clicked in us because we practice like literally every night. We're lying in bed. Hi Sharks, my name is Steph. My name is Paul. I'm brushing my teeth. Hi Sharks, my name is like we practice so much that like I don't know.
we knew our numbers, we knew everything, but it was just like still nerve wracking. And then
Yeah.
those doors opened and we both talk about, we're like, all our nerves went away, or because we were like, we've got a good product. Like we know we know what we are doing is good. We know it's obviously working. So we're like, we've got this.
Yeah. We were excited if anything. Like,
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I think those nerves come from uncertainty. So how do we reduce the level of uncertainty? One, we convince ourselves that we have the ability to cope through repetition and just practice. And I think like but you've also got a bit of sales experience as well, don't you?
Yeah,
so that would have helped coming onto that.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I also like, we had our friends, they sat down on the couch and we were like, just grill us as if our,
Every question.
yeah, ask us every
So
question.
fun.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. And we're like, act as if our business sucks. Like ask us questions like weird, bad, like, and
It's like, be mean to us.
be mean. And so like, we're kind of prepared for anything in terms of what could have come out. I mean, you guys were super nice on the show and like everyone's really friendly, but like,
we're not always friendly though. It's the energy you guys give up. Like if you come off and you're slightly arrogant,
thank God.
I'm not going to say who. They will just take that as like, they'll see red.
Yeah, true.
They'll just go it.
make good TV though.
Yeah.
Man, the American one is wild. Like they're like, you don't listen to her.
Yeah.
Listen, like, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah. That
That was a
awesome.
great experience.
Yeah, that's great.
It was cool. Like, yeah, but I mean, it was so funny because when Jane first made the offer, she was like, I want, I can't remember 30%, but I'm going to give you for that, man. You were like, that's crazy. I don't know what, they should have kept it in. I wish they kept that part in because they were like, that's
you let
crazy.
forward and everything. You were like, that'd be silly to do that. Or that'd be stupid to do that. It was so good. And we'd already gone in there being like we discussed it before and we were like, we really want Davey. Let's just hope that Davey.
so
and so when you obviously made us an offer, and especially like Robbie as well, we were like, oh my gosh, act cool.
Yeah. But although you went up at the end and gave Jane a hug, and she said,
we would have loved to have you too. And she's like, why didn't you say that? I was like, I didn't know I could do that.
she gets in the elevator. You know how like in the elevator you're supposed to celebrate. She looks at me, she goes, we should go to Jane as well. I was like, babe, celebrate.
That's so good. Well, obviously we didn't go ahead with the investment, which is purely based on, I don't think you need it. Like you guys are crushing it. But we will keep talking because honestly, I love your journey so much.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. Timing's everything. Timing wasn't right, so it is what it is.
It's such an incredible product and such an incredible idea. How's sales been going?
Sales been awesome. Yeah, it's been a long journey. I think the growth that we've seen is bigger than I guess either of us could expect. Attributed to what we've been a part of in Daily Mentor as well. When we started the Daily Mentor, we actually started at like a point of crisis in our business because we were with an agency beforehand and they were running our ads and I didn't have any idea about Facebook ads or Google ads or anything really. And the moment that we were on the Daily Mentor, but I wasn't really involved with it. Like I was just kind of checking the notifications. I wasn't really getting a part of the community. I wasn't saying anything. And we left the agency and I joined with this ad buyer who I became really good friends with and he was running all our ads for us. And then suddenly he passed away.
Oh, wow.
Like he one day, I was literally we had a meeting on Monday. I was the last person to message him. And by Wednesday, I was like, all my messages were being read, but he wasn't answering because I was getting the blue ticks. And so I called someone who I knew worked with him and I said, have you heard from this guy? No, I haven't heard from him. So they sent a welfare check over and he passed away. And it was like at this moment of like emotionally, first of all, like I'd lost a friend. But second of all, my Facebook ad accounts was attached to his Facebook ad accounts. He set up my Google for me. And so we're at this crisis moment of what the heck are we going to do? And I'm like so thankful that we were in the Daily Mentor because I jumped on a meeting with Robbie, the Facebook coach. I did the class, the school, learned how to run the ads, like literally picked it up, started running the Facebook ads and we were doing far better when I was running them than when this guy was running them. Then I jumped to, because our Google account was getting shut down because it was attached to him and he needed to verify it, but he couldn't. And so then we jumped on a call with the Google guys. They jumped in onto our account. They set us up a whole new account. They were awesome. So
Literal lifesavers.
Yeah, literally. It's not, I don't say like this lightly, but attributed to our growth is being a part of this community.
I really appreciate that. I'm obviously very, very sorry for your loss. That would be a turbulent time, both emotionally for the business, but also for that. What's the main lesson that you think you've learned in Daily Mentor that you kind of like implemented and got results from, would you say?
I would say for me, I often work out of a place of emotion, and Daily Mentor was like, cool, let's just put that aside and like get strategy in place, and like, let's not make decisions out of emotion, but out of like what's going to be best to scale the business. That was a big thing for me. I don't know what yours would be.
Yeah, I think it's not one thing. I think it's a lot of little things that have sort of pointed us in the right direction. A lot of people ask like, what's one thing I can change to get this amazing business? And I don't think there is one thing. I think there's a lot of little things that if you position them all wrong, they make a big problem. Whereas the Daily Mentor, jumping into the different classes and understanding, you know, a little bit about everything has allowed us to make decisions that has positioned us to grow. There's a saying that I love. It's a river without banks becomes a swamp. And like if cash was your river, if you have no banks, it just ends up, your business stinks, right? And more cash is not going to solve this problem, but having proper structure and systems kind of points you in this direction that growth is actually beneficial rather than a problem. Because like without the structure that we've sort of implemented, without our ad structure, without the logistical structure, we would just have all of this cash coming in, no idea what to do with the, but yeah, that's probably the
tough problem to have all this cash coming in. What do we do?
You know, what do we do with all of this money?
So much. Davey, how do we spend it? I'd probably give you the wrong answer.
Yeah, you're like, buy a place in the Gold Coast.
Exactly. Well, you guys, your growth has been a terrific, not only in terms of the business, like sales, that kind of stuff, but just like in your personal development, like your skill sets have just become so much better. You know, we actually met on Shark Tank, which I want to talk about in a second, but you know, and you're not alone in this. Like I was way worse than you when I was in your sales levels, but it's just like, you just don't really know what to do at all, right? Like you're just trying to figure out like, how do you manage a cash flow? How do you manage operations? Like all of this kind of stuff. So I just wanted to congratulate you on your growth. Are you public about your numbers since Shark Tank? Because obviously you had to tell me there, but have you talked about that since?
I'm not public with the amount of sales that we're making and stuff. I mean, we've grown, since Shark Tank, we've grown by 300%.
Yeah, we calculated it this morning.
Yeah, calculated it this morning.
That's awesome.
Like, if you're smart enough, you can go to Shark Tank, figure out what I said in times of buy.
You got to really want to figure out the revenue numbers. We'll probably go do the maths and put it in the thumbnail. To be honest. No, I'm joking.
Just add us anyway. It's fine.
No, that's incredible. So tell me about how you came up with the product idea, because there's so many people watching this that are like, I assume you came up with the idea, not to be sexist or anything, but it was your problem to solve. How did you come up with the concept itself and get that first prototype so someone can copy you with their own product of solving their problem, I guess?
Yeah, well, I knew that I wanted to start another business. I've had little businesses my whole life, and we had talked about starting one together because we had just gotten married. And I'd always worn hair extensions for 11 years or so. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and do my certification in hair extensions, learn how to do it, have my own clientele. And it was through having those clients that I noticed everyone had like these same pain points where they were like, I really shouldn't be here. Like, I don't really have this kind of money. And I was feeling that because I was exactly the same. But hair is something that, like, I don't know, it just gives you so much confidence. And so we chatted originally about finding a supplier and just wholesaling to salons. But we were like, what is our point of difference? Like, okay, we're ethically sourced. Wow. Like, okay, so are a bunch of other brands.
We also ordered a whole bunch of extensions, remember?
We did. And we were like, let's just like, you know, go into salons and try and sell them to them. So they would take us on, blah, blah, blah. And then one day we were actually in Brisbane.
We were.
And I was lying in bed scrolling TikTok, and this lady comes on my feed. She had fire engine red hair, and she was gluing hair extensions into her hair. And she was probably using some kind of like just everyday glue. And I was like, that's really smart. Why hasn't anyone actually done that for hair extensions? Because it would be so useful. And she was explaining that, you know, when it's time to get them out, she just puts a bit of coconut oil, a bit of this, a bit of that, and they slide out. And this video was so viral. And I was like, okay, like there's something in this. People want a DIY that's not your clip-in that you have to take out that hurt. They want something that's permanent, but there is nothing. And so our first supplier we went to, they were like, unless you have, I think it was like maybe like 10 grand or something like that. She was like, we're not going to do your prototype or anything like that. Like no one's done. Yeah, it was more money than what we had. Mind you, we were like freshly married, didn't have any savings really at all.
No.
And we just moved to Melbourne for Paul's job. And so she was like, but let me know how you guys go because it's a really good idea. And we're like, okay, great, thanks. Anyway, we probably went through maybe 50 different suppliers until we found this one, and she was a baby in the world of manufacturers and suppliers. And she was like, I'm willing to give you guys a go. And so basically me and her decided on, the lengths of everything, like how wide to do the wefts and whatnot. And then what was our first order? It was something like really small, like $1,000 worth.
Yeah, it was $3,500.
3.5.
And it was all of our savings.
And
that's all we had.
Then I started a TikTok page and I kept it as a secret. I would do videos and be like, these hair extensions, they're staying for 4 weeks. And did I get them done in a salon? No, blah, blah, blah. And it went nuts. And I was like, I'm so excited to launch this product. And then eventually, our first video, we'd had all this hype. We had like this email list of like, if you want to find out what it is, sign up to our email list. And we had like a couple thousand on there just from that. And then our first video of me showing the hair extensions went so viral, sold us out. But then that created the issue of having to stop. Our very first video of being like, this is what I've been talking about.
Yeah.
Can you remember how many units you sold? So you sold out of stock.
Yeah.
So how much money is that for one post?
I think in our first month we did 25 or 30 grand.
Yeah, something
25
like
or
that.
30 grand in your first month of business.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
Organic social media.
Yeah, it's true, actually.
Our website actually crashed because obviously we, again, knew absolutely nothing about Shopify.
Yeah.
And so we just didn't have our ducks in a row quite like we should.
We tried to do like the whole secret launch user code to get on the website and it just backfired so bad.
Oh
and I remember we launched and we were sitting there. We actually have a video of it. We can send it.
Yeah, with our faces. We're like,
I'd love to see it.
we're just like, what's going on?
defeated.
And then eventually after like an hour, I figured it out. But everybody had left the website. There was a few people left on the website and we got the first sale, like their first, that Shopify like, cha-ching.
Yeah.
And we were like, wow, we did it. Like it was this crazy moment. I remember I walked into work because I had to go sell like chairs that day. And we'd done like, by the time I walked into work, we'd done like 3.5 grand. And I walked in there like, I'm going to be rich. Like this is.
Well, it was right.
Yeah, true.
You were right.
Yeah, true.
So we actually had this person we always talk about that we told them about our idea and they're like, oh. And then when we launched, they're like, how's your little business going? And we were so excited to be like, little? We'll tell you about little. We've already sold out. It was such a great, vindicating moment. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
This is like the best lesson for anyone watching right now. It's like you have a product idea that's unique, solving a problem that you want to pursue. You go and you say to someone, can you make this? And they quote you $50,000. And you're like, I can't do that. That necessity breeds innovation. Then you go find another way. There's people out there that want to help you. There's people out there that want to be on the journey and just want to create things as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Find that person, be scrappy, use organic social media, and make $30,000 in your first month.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, it is the perfect story.
Yeah, it really is.
A lot of other people spend way too much time on, learning the marketing and stuff like that, which is obviously important. It's probably a bit of a natural skill considering you were on TikTok before to be able to create that viral post initially. But I would much rather spend my time sharpening my axe rather than cutting down the tree and focus on the product itself. Just so that first month is so easy.
Yeah, I actually heard Brittany Sanders, Fate, the label.
Yeah.
Fate. She actually said something that has like stuck with me. She's like, every time you post on social media, it's like buying a lottery ticket. It's like, it doesn't have to be perfect or like, because my whole thing has been like perfection. And I did struggle with that a lot. Me and Paul, like we're total opposites. So we kind of balance each other out in this. But I was like, it's not perfect yet. We shouldn't launch. I want this to be perfect. We need to learn how to do that, blah, blah, blah. Where Paul was like, no, we're just going to like, it's not ready, aim, fire. It's ready, fire, and then aim. We'll do all the little parts after that, So like, and you know what? If we would have waited, I don't know if we would have had the same momentum. I feel like it would have passed. So, yeah.
So what's next for you guys? So are you just going to expand product range, expand globally? Like how are you going to turn this into a $100 million business?
Well, I'm ADHD, right? So my brain is going 24/7. I want to invent really cool stuff. But for me personally, we probably have a little bit different answers to this. Obviously, there's going to be other products, but there's big holes in the, big gaps in the hair extension industry. And I want to be the first to fill them. I want Muse to be the go-to first to market for all of these things. So that's pretty much my goal. We have a product in mind, but what would you say?
Well, I mean, we have a lot of ocean ahead of us just with the product we have and the business structure that we have. So really, scale for us right now is probably just scaling out what we've got, really just doing the cycle of get the more product, more ads, more product, more ads. We also have, like I just started testing in the UK, which we haven't launched at all. And we started doing some pretty like really good ROAS over there. So probably a 3PL over there, somewhere in Europe as well. Some product iterations. And
what were some of your learnings around expanding globally? Because it's often a question that brands have at that $1 million mark. Like, how do you know that you're ready, and how did you go about it?
We were forced to because of the tariffs. When Trump changed all the tariffs, like it was just not a viable option for us to send from Australia into the US anymore, because customers are paying a few $100s for our product, and then for them to get a $100 bill at the end of that from the customs guy, it was like, we're getting these emails like, why am I paying this? So we're forced to, and that's why we changed our entire product to fit a 3PL structure. And then, we send it straight into the 3PL. I think the key indicator for you, if you're trying to think of when do I go to 3PL, will probably be if you're getting logistical problems, which we were having all these logistical issues, sending with our local postal service, which sucks, over into the US. We were just losing all this money. I figured out it would be cheaper for us to send it with a 3PL in the US than the way that we were doing it. Our margins would increase. So it was kind of like a natural next step. Think that if you boil it all down to it, it's like if it makes sense, do it, really.
Yeah, I believe that most people should be going to a 3PL. Like, e-com's so multifaceted, but you just do the analysis. Is the 3PL better in China, shipping directly from China, or is the 3PL better local? Like, you need to have enough financial know-how, and luckily AI can just do all of this now. You just put it all into Claude Code, all the quotes, everything, and it will just spit out the answer for you.
Yeah.
And then just create that analysis and then decide what's best for you there. If you're saving like 1% gross margin and you have to split your stock across places and order more stock, that's not worth it.
Yeah.
If you're adding another 10 points, then that's probably worth it.
Totally.
So I think that's great. I want to get into tips and tricks so that people can learn from you, because you've done such an amazing job. Your brand is so amazing. But I picked up on something before. So you moved to Melbourne for Paul's job.
Yeah.
And then Paul helped you support your dream of the hair extensions as well. Like, is that just something that you just keep doing? Because it sounds like you got married quite young, right?
28.
28.
Is that young?
No, I don't think that's young. I think that's like pretty average nowadays. But like, how does that relationship work with you guys? Like, you're just constantly supporting each other, and how do you go working together?
Yeah. So me and Paul, from the moment that we re-met, because we went to high school together and then went different paths and then re-met, we've run the same race. We both knew that we want to be rich one day. And we were just trying to figure out how to get there, what the best way was to get there. So I feel like the fact that we, even before Muse, were on that was going to be the end goal, hence why we did pack up everything and move to Melbourne, because we thought that maybe that was going to lead to a road of us making money. That was a big help. And then it was just finding that one thing. And the good thing about me and Paul is I'm super creative, super like marketing focused, and Paul is like numbers and anything to do with like logistics, and we don't cross over. And I think that's why we work.
We did initially.
Yeah, we did initially.
Yeah.
And like, if you want to test your marriage, definitely do that. But then we like figured out our lanes and we stay in them.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if there's things that I'm like, I'm not 100% sure, that's not my domain. I'm not going to like step into that, because he knows what he's doing, and I have to trust in him and let go of, my thing is control, let go of control and know that he is doing what he is designed to do in this.
Yeah. I think like the way that we work together, me and Steph have, one of the things that I love about Steph is she's very inquisitive, and so am I. Like, we both have this idea that there's always an answer. There's always something more to learn, and there's something more behind this. And when we started in this journey, I was doing sales, and I learned how much money that there was to be made because I was making money for somebody else. And I was like, there just has to be an answer for us. There has to be something more for us. Before I was doing sales, I was laying like floor, like I was a tradie, I was laying floor. And I remember this one day I was on like in the middle of this floor, and we'd just gotten married, and I was like, there has to be more to my life for this. I can't trade my time for money anymore. I have to figure out a better way to make money. And then, you know, we started this conversation. We're like, well, why don't we start a business? We actually started a conversation with some friends. We were going to start, what are they called? Eyelash?
We were going to start a DIY eyelash business. And you know what? If we would have been so rich right now, because about a year later, it went ballistic.
It was
industry.
a good time.
Yeah.
We were going to do that with our friends. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad we didn't, because now everybody and anybody has an eyelash business, and we would have just got washed into the Amazon monster. Whereas with our product now, it's too hard to copy. But yeah, so there was just always this sense of there's more. There has to be more for us, and it's the same even now. Like with our business, we've reached this level where I'm even, you know, recently I'm like, there's more. There has to be more. What's the next step for us? That feel like whenever we hit this ceiling, I'm like, okay, we gotta figure out what's next.
Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday in the car on the drive up here. We were like, we're both so hungry, like hungry for knowledge, like hungry for more. That's literally like it. And I think it's what has gotten us to the point that we've gotten to.
Yeah, there's an inevitability around that hunger and success. You know, it's not about if it's eyelashes. It's not about if it's hair extensions. It's like when you show up every day and you work really hard and you learn, like you're just either going to be successful or you're going to die. Like that's just like the end of it. I'm interested, Paul, like, so when you're laying those floorboards, I know lots of people that they watch my content and they go, being successful isn't for everyone. And you praising that, like me praising that, is a disservice because you're giving people false hope. But then there's someone like you probably laying those floorboards that sees an Instagram reel from me and goes, maybe this is the path.
Totally.
And that's, you know, obviously why I do so much free content, because it's just like the Paul that's laying on the floor there, like I don't want him to pay any money to learn anything. I want him to just watch a YouTube video and fulfill his dreams. But my question to you is like, how did you get that faith to just like take the leap, I guess?
Yeah. I think it starts first with defining what success is for each person, right? For some people, success might be just having a 9-to-5 and having a family with the, you know, whatever it is for them, that's success. And I think it's important for everyone to realize that, you know, obviously we're in the world of business and, you know, we're trying to make money, but money doesn't necessarily connect to success. I think for me personally, our business is the overflow of what we have personally. We both are Christian, we have a relationship with God. Outside of that, we have a great marriage, we have a great family. If the business was to go, we'd still be happy and feel successful. I think certain people have a drive for what is more, and those people, if that's success for you, then don't ever let that desire die. And people like yourself, the videos that you post, the success that you have had inspires people like me. People who have a level where success for them is just doing what they're doing, man, that's awesome. Like if that's success for you, don't let that die for you, because then you can look at someone else and compare yourself. The worst thing about comparison, man, is that if you compare yourself to somebody else and they're doing worse than you feel yourself with pride. But if you compare yourself to somebody else and they're doing better than you feel with shame. So it's like, define what success for you is in your own life and go hard after it. And don't let anybody else tell you that their level of success is what success is.
Couldn't agree more. I want to go to each of you and ask one tip that an e-com brand could implement. They can either be a beginner or they can be, you know, more at your level, that will get them a return on watching this video.
Okay, so mine would be reduce friction as much as possible. With Muse, we've tried as much as we can to optimize everything so that customer is getting on that website and from them clicking on our landing page through to checkout, smooth, seamless, like it's just continuous. There's nothing that is like, what's the word I'm looking for? Clunky. I feel like that's a big thing. And I know it as a consumer myself, I'm like, if something's taking too long to load or it's too difficult to understand, I'm clicking out of it. So if you can simplify that and make that as like smooth as possible, I think that'd be my biggest thing.
Can you think of something that was creating that clunkiness or slowness, and like how do you technically actually fixed it?
Yeah, for us, it was hair extensions. Obviously, we have 35 shades. Someone logs on there, they're like, I have no idea how to tell from a computer image what that is for us. We have a little link that's like, submit your photo here, and within an hour or two, they'll have one of our customer service agents would have looked at their photo and told them what color they are.
That's great. I think surveys are a great way to find their equivalent of that solution.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, one, what are your most highest customer service tickets? Like just put that above the fold on the landing page.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I was working with a brand recently and I was auditing their Facebook account, and they're very, very new at business. So I really say this with love. It's like their sales halved in 1 month. So at the start of the month, and I was like, what changed there? They're like, we added a pop-up here, a GDPR banner, a survey. And I was like, when did the sales go down? And they're like, on that date. And I was like, and then they changed it.
Sometimes
it's
less
all
is
good.
more.
Because I've done that as well. I've broken Facebook pixels. I've added pop-ups. I've broken buttons. So it's just about, I think in those early stages, even every single app you download has to have like a very, very positive return on investment, because it's going to slow your website down. It's just like those kind of things. They're the lessons that just beginners just need to learn the hard way, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your tip, Paul?
My tip would be have the right circle of people around you. I think that having the right product and all these things are important, but the people around you is far more important. That's why we love the Daily Mentor. And, you know, it sounds like I'm plugging it nonstop.
Yeah,
but
I appreciate it.
To be honest.
We have people message us all the time about
Yeah, it's true. You know how we did the YouTube video for you?
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
No, that's okay. People message me all the time. Oh, like I'm thinking of joining. I'm like, it's the best thing ever. Because the community you have around you genuinely defines how far and how fast. Because people don't like realize if you're isolated and you're on your own, you have no idea whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. But you have somebody who gets in your corner and goes, man, don't do that. Or yeah, do that.
Yeah.
You save so much money for one. Lessons are so expensive, man. We learned a lot of expensive lessons before we got a part of the Daily Mentor.
Yeah.
But now that we have this community of people, we jump on there. The other day, I was like, man, our sales suck today. What is going on? So I jumped on Daily Mentor. Hey guys, Shopify's down. I'm like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense.
Perfect.
Like those kinds of things, you can't.
Yeah, and you jumped on, you lowered our ad spend.
Well, you guys were quite humble in not wanting to share your revenue and whatnot, but I'll be the one to say that you guys have an incredible business. Yeah, I want to plug you guys and be confident for you, because it really is a beautiful business. And I think that it's a beautiful product, good reviews. You guys are a great couple. You're very inspiring. So appreciate you being part of it and appreciate you joining today.
Thanks, man. And thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
And thanks for everything. I mean, we wouldn't be a part of the Daily Mentor if it wasn't meeting you at Shark Tank. And you're genuinely, I don't know if you like words, but you're a very kind person, man. So we're very thankful for everything you've done for us.
We're glad we chose you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. If you liked today's episode, make sure you go click the link below and check out Daily Mentor.